When you got the Osmo Pocket or the DJI Pocket 2, you probably got excited and thought, finally, I can shoot smooth, stable looking video. Then you get out the Pocket camera and your video, it's all over the place. Well, if that's you, this video is for you because I had that too. And I got frustrated until I learned about the 3-axis stabilization, the shooting modes, and how the Pocket works. Welcome, I'm Chuck, and this video is about the 3-axis movements of the DJI Osmo Pocket and Pocket 2 cameras. I'm just going to call both of them the Pocket, and we're going to break down the 3-axis movements so you can shoot better. Anyways, if you're like me, it may seem that when you first get the Pocket, the camera is hard to use and you might just use it in one mode because you just can't figure it out. If you're shooting that way or have put the camera away for a while out of frustration like I did, well, this video is for you. This video is the first part of a 101 series devoted to the DJI Pocket, and so the first thing we're going to talk about is the 3-axis stabilization. What the heck does that mean? Well, once you get to know each axis and how the Pocket stabilizes them, you can actually use that information to your advantage to get great stable video, film creatively using the way the camera can move, and then you can set the camera so you can hand the camera off to someone else so they can shoot for you. So what are the 3-axis movements of the gimbal? Well, let's start out with the first axis. It's on the bottom of the camera head. You can see a circle on the gimbal head's base. When you move the camera head left or right, you're using the pan axis for the camera's view moving left or right. The DJI Pocket can rotate, or you can set the camera to pan left and right to follow your subject. You can also set the Pocket to stay focused on your subject even if you're rotating the camera's body, or you can make the gimbal head move left or right the way you want to so you can get a panoramic shot of scenery. Now that you know about the pan axis, just know mechanically there's a small limitation. You can't make the camera head rotate all the way around. It's limited to a rotation of about 300 degrees, not a full 360 degrees. So if you're filming a subject, just know that the limitation is on the left side of the camera body if you're facing the camera screen. So if you're following a subject traveling from the right to the left of the camera and you want to follow them beyond that range, you may need to rotate the camera body so you don't lose them. And that's the pan axis. It can give great camera lens movement, panning the camera head from left to right or right to left, or stabilize the video even if you're moving the camera body left or right. If you want to look up, you simply tilt your head up. If you want to look down, you simply tilt your head down. Now on a gimbal, this is called the tilt axis. When the camera head is pointing forward, you'll see the circle axis point on the right and left of the gimbal head. The camera head can rotate up and down because of this axis. So here's what's really cool about this. You can set the gimbal in tilt lock mode, so no matter how the base of the camera is moving, the camera lens on the gimbal can stay focused and steady without tipping up and down. And here's an example of me moving the camera base forward and back. As you can see, the scene in front of me is steady without the camera head looking at the sky or ground. Now for creative shots, you can also make the gimbal motors move the camera head up and down if your subject is high or low, or simply scan a scene or subject up or down. Now if the Pocket is set to follow something, the gimbal head will move up or down according to that axis if it goes high or low. Or if you're following something that's moving high or low, the horizon will also remain steady so your viewer doesn't get dizzy. Now the limitation of the tilt is about 150 degrees. So when you look at how that is on the gimbal head, the lens can go a little further than straight up and about 50 degrees or about halfway down from the horizon to the ground in front of the camera's lens. The final of the 3-axis movement of the Pocket's gimbal head is roll. It's stabilization of the camera's head if the camera base moves left or right. The axis point is the circle on the back of the Pocket's gimbal head, and the cool thing about using the tilt lock on the DJI Pocket is it helps the camera keep the horizon straight if the camera's body is rolling left or right. So here's a movement I'm doing to film a shot on my phone on a bench. Notice as I move left to right, I'm using my whole arm with the DJI Pocket, and when I get to the end of the shot, I'm using the roll axis to my advantage to keep the shot level, even though the Pocket's body is not. The limitation of the Pocket's roll angle, though, is 45 degrees, so be aware. If you go beyond that, the Pocket's gimbal head will automatically flip to sideways. So those are the 3-axis movements for the DJI Pocket camera. You might be saying, well, heck, I already been playing with this camera and I know some of that already. Or you may have been like me and got so confused moving from a regular camera to video with a camera lens that tilts, rolls, and pans. After I learned the basics of the 3-axis gimbal and how it works, and how the camera head moves on the DJI Pocket, it allowed me to thoughtfully and carefully think about how I make video with a Pocket gimbal. I learned how to take control of the DJI Pocket and know how it moves to get steady footage. And that will happen to you too as you get better with the basic 101 mechanics of how the gimbal works. You'll start to unlock some creativity as well. So the next step would be to get out and practice. Learn more about how to use the DJI Pocket gimbal so you can get some cool, steady video. If you agree you need more practice like I do, hit that like button. Now, the great thing about digital cameras is you can practice and you can delete your practice footage. When I first learned photography, it was with film cameras and it was an expensive hobby. But now with digital cameras, it's fast, easy, and you don't have to spend lots of money on film and developing. Now, before I show you some footage to think about, here's some background. I was watching some other creators here on YouTube and I thought, how can I make this particular video like they did? Now, I had the DJI Pocket 2 at a hotel atrium. I had the Pocket straight up and I was looking straight on at the screen. Here's the video. How did I get this shot with the DJI Pocket, and what of the 3-axis did I use? Leave me a message about that down below. I'll give you the answer in my next DJI Pocket 101 video where we'll talk about the 3 gimbal modes of shooting with the DJI Pocket. So stay tuned for more tutorials like these and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and check out these videos about the DJI Pocket.